Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of taught2profit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how professing Christianity is the religion of the one talent. And I'm going to get into that, but first I want to get into something I discussed in the previous video, the video titled, Does the Bible Say the Rich Cannot Go to Heaven? I discussed about a man who was leaving a comment who said that the rich can't go to heaven. And I commented and said he was an elderly man and that was sad. Now, I obviously was not saying that him being elderly was sad, because I literally, right after saying that, discussed how he was leaving nasty and hateful comments toward me. It was just sad to see a man that is up in age, who should be dispensing wisdom and great understanding, is instead reduced to throwing childish tantrums in comment sections and defending mediocrity, and being angry against those who don't participate in his religion of mediocrity, which is the religion of the one talent. But that is the inevitable result. You can get up in age, and you should be a wise person and be respected and be teaching and giving people from your great wisdom. Instead, you're acting like a child. But that is what that religion of the one talent does, because it is very invested in people being mediocre. And so let me get into the parable that Jesus taught, and I want to discuss how this relates to what the vast majority of professing Christianity is today. And I have to be clear, by saying professing Christianity, I'm not talking about real believers. I'm not talking about people who are really walking with God. These are people who are in churches today. Now, there are good believers in churches, and there are also a number of people who are just kind of playing a part. They're playing a religious dress-up game. They get dressed up in their Sunday best. They go to church. They pretend like they love God. They pretend like they love Jesus. The rest of the week, who's God? Who's Jesus? They don't know, because they're living like the world. And their lives do not have the fruit from the fruit of the Spirit, from the blessing of the Lord. It has none of this fruit that you would expect from somebody who actually walks with God. And so let's get into the parable, because this is very important, because I want you to see a revelation for many people if you'll receive it. So this is Jesus speaking, starting in Matthew chapter 25, verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Remember, this is about the kingdom of heaven. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Now, let me add here that talents is a form of currency. We use the term talent today to talk about some inherent ability people have, which is a very interesting way of using it. The point of the parable is not about whether it's money or actual talent like we use the word today. It is about taking what God's given you and what you do with it. Do you squander it? Well, let's read on this parable. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2 talents, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time the Lord of those servants cometh, and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, that is thine. His Lord answered and said to him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now this is powerful, my friend. The religion of the one talent is these people today who have been given one talent. They don't have a lot. And instead of making something useful with it, they go and bury it. And how this plays out in our reality today is these people have been given the great blessing of the gift of life. They have cognitive abilities to be able to speak and think and reason in this world. And yet they squander all that doing the bare minimum with life. Essentially burying that talent. They don't make anything of it. They don't double it. Look, both the men, the one that received 5 talents and the one that received 2, doubled what they had. You come into this world, you're gifted this great gift of life, this great blessing, this precious gift of life, being created in the image and likeness of God, and you squander it to live like a mediocre man, to live like average men. How is that possible? But that is what most people are pushing today. I get people constantly posting comments about how, well, we don't need to be rich. We don't need to do more. Well, we don't need to be workaholics. They have all these excuses. Never one time do they have an excuse for, you know what, I need to do more. I need to find an excuse to do better in this world. I need to find an excuse to bring God more glory. I need to find an excuse to actually take my talent and double it. I don't care what you have. I don't care how limited you are. If you feel like you only have that one little talent, go double it. Do something with it. Don't make your life be a waste. Change your vocabulary too. So many of these people will talk about time-wasting activities. Well, I'm playing this game. It's a good time waster. Well, I'm just watching videos, killing some time. How can you do that when you've been given this precious gift of life? You know, sometimes people don't understand where I'm coming from. They think, oh, I'm just a workaholic. I just love work all the time. Listen, I love God. That's the first and foremost pinnacle of my life. Everything flows from that. The blessings, the hard work. I don't want to squander my life and waste my life away being in the religion of the one talent. I want to do my all. And it's very interesting because in this parable, the ones that have, they'll be given even more. And they'll have abundance. Many people, and this is important, please understand, because this is a revelation for many people if you'll hear it and if you'll receive it. If you don't have an abundance and your life is not progressing forward, you're not doubling your talents, you need to be real honest with yourself about what you're doing with your life. You're that person who doesn't have, and even that which you have is taken from you. Because if you were doing the right thing, if you were living your life and giving your all to the Lord and doing everything you can unto the Lord and doing it with your all your effort, legitimately giving your all to the Lord, you'd have even more and you'd have an abundance. And that's a revelation for many people to realize. You look around the professing Christian world, you see a lot of lack. You see a lot of people that don't have abundance. You see a lot of people burying their talent. And then you see a lot of those people trying to drag other people into the same ditch with them to bury their talent. The world and the professing Christian church will try to drag you into the religion of the one talent. And it is folly, my friend. It is not serving God. It's not honoring God. You're not more noble by doing less. You can babble about your work-life balance. I want to honor God. Work, life, whatever you want to call it, I want everything I do to be honoring to God. And I want to give my all, and I don't want to put half-hearted effort, and I don't want to bury my talent, and I don't want to be lazy, and I don't want to be indolent, and I don't want to have to look back on my life when I stand before the Lord and give account for what I did and see all these times I wasted my life. All these times and opportunities I had, I went and buried my talent. I want to be that man who had the 5 talents and got 5 more and got even more because I was a good and faithful servant. And you should live your life that same way. You're going to have to change some things if you're not living that life right now. If you don't have that abundance, you might have been burying your talent. And listen, I want you to understand, don't go beat yourself up over this. Because everywhere you look, from the world to the professing Christian church, tells you to be less, tells you to go bury your talent. So you've been getting it from every angle. I'm telling you something different. I'm telling you to honor God with your life. I'm telling you to be truly grateful for your life and live in such a way that reflects that gratitude by living the best, most fulfilling, most abundant life possible, truly doing your all unto the Lord, and watch as you have that life. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.